The window is open if you want.
Yeah, I'm ready.
You sure? I need to shut it between. Not to jump out.
This one was difficult.
It is hard actually. Yes.
It's not that circle again, is it?
It's no, this time I'll do it in square. So, okay. So square. What I'll do, look, just check the square here, look. Check the square on that. And then look, if you see the skin tone, obviously it's black and white, but the tonal value of the skin tone, it's much darker than the background. So why not starting with the square? And the square, it's not standing horizontal, it's turned slightly to the upwards. So that's the square. And it's turned, so the square, it's not like this, it's tilted towards the right. And then inside the square you have that shadow which goes from the forehead, nose, which pops out, and chin, upper lip, lower lip, chin here, and the eyes are somewhere here. Well, eyebrow first. Alright. Forehead. Actually, the hair before the forehead. I think I went too far up with the eye, but I can bring the eye down a little bit more just to adjust that because we have the hair on the forehead. And look, very, well, I'm oversimplifying. From that corner here to that corner, and then to that corner here, it's just a line which divides the square here. And on the upper half of that line, you have the hair. Again, oversimplification. It's not exactly that, but you know what I mean. Then here, and the hair there. Then the neck moving that way. Very, very long neck, like a model. And then you have that. Everything. It's like a trap here. Don't move your hand. Don't move your foot. So yeah, and the really shoulder. Well, not shoulder. The rib collarbone. Collarbone, yes, collarbone. And that is a vertical line from the eye. Vertical line from there is there, and then that abdominal structure. Can you see, Jane?
Yes, thank you.
And then you have that. Down. You see how much you can progress just by doing that with a brush. And the good thing about this is that again, you're not committing with lines, so you can change those lines as you go along in a while, and we're going to start drawing. And then the ear is right above or in the middle between the lips. So the ear, the base of the ear is down here. The top of the ear is under the eye, there, and here, there, here, and then you have hair, and that which is obviously the longer hair, which has been tucked in there. So this is what I would start with, and that's the start. That's not. It's going to be a lot more detailed than that, but this is a good way of getting your proportions right and the movement of the head. And as you can see here, the neck, darker. So by doing that, I don't have to darken with my charcoal and go really, really dark. Maybe a little bit, or just a touch of that. And just a touch of the skin tone, just darkening the skin tone. It's all darks here, all much darker here. Let's insist a little bit more on the head now. Put my glasses on, Specsavers here. Because you're going to more detail. So that chin actually, if you see the the dark of the end of the chin is lower than that. So the end of the chin, but there is a dark shadow before you go to the line. You will see it on the picture. So, okay, upper lip again, an approximate, and I'm talking about this dark shadow here, which see, she's got a very squarish chin. Have you noticed? It's almost like square. You will see it when you look closely. You will see that there is a squarish chin. And that is the eye. The eye here, her right eye is really low, because we see a lot more the base of the chin by the way that she's looking upwards. She's tilted up. So her head is tilted, so you see more of the chin. And what I'm actually saying is that you see more of this here. That's square. And then the end of the chin itself, it's here. And then, I'm going to be too far, so bring the neck is closer. And that's a very, very dark shadow here, which is basically the inside the neck shadow there. Okay, here. Let's go and you see that I see a lot more of the nostril of the nose. It's because she's turned up, she's looking upwards. And that, it's the end of the nose. It's a difficult pose, okay, keep in mind, it's perspective as well. She's looking up, but the viewer, the artist, is low, is below the model. So that's why we look a lot at the bottom of the chin, because we are much below her up here. Much lower, basically, not sorry, much below, much lower. And then you have the eye here. That's a cheekbone. That's a good dark shadow which separates the cheekbone from that light on her cheek. You see that little light on the cheek? That gives away that the light is coming from her right, if you notice. It comes light from the right. If the light was coming in front of her face, all that area would be light. The front of her face would be flooded with light. So that's not the case. That means the light is coming from the right of her, face. Middle tongue, eye here, the nose, and this is the forehead, which is turned that way. And then you have the hair, and hair here. Ear up there, and much darker on the hair. So give it a tonal value, dark tonal value here. And you've got the hair coming like this way, much darker. I'm going really dark here now, and a middle tone on the whole of the left hand of her face. Eyebrow, the eyes are here, somewhere here. We've got the pupil. That I need to emphasize that more, which is the distance between the eyebrow and the eye, and the forehead, which is a little bit further inwards, like this. There, darker, and push the nose a bit further out. Upper eyelid. Sorry, upper lip, not eyelid. Upper lip, lower lip. Putty, help. So need to bring those highlights now to make them a little bit more visible. Well, first of all, get the ear as well, which is, the ear is, look, the angle of the ear, it's an angle of that sort, look, goes straight like, look, goes a very, very angular shape of that. And you got the ear.
Your picture's gonna fall.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Good, good, good. That was a trap. Trap myself constantly.
Making sure we're concentrating.
Yeah.
Looking the right way.
And then darker shadow there. Yeah, I can still see that she's looking up, so at least I've got that upper movement, but then it could be a little bit more now precise.
We'll probably do it, you know,
Yeah,
actual
it's a
profile.
Yeah.
So
Just
it's-
literally, we'll probably all do it as a,
Yes.
and that's where it's difficult, isn't it?
It's difficult because it's profile, but also it's
Oh yeah.
she's looking up,
Exactly.
so you see more of the jaw here. So that's why it's hard. But we want some challenge, don't we? Well, maybe not. But but now it's too late. Okay. A little bit highlight here. Soften that line. And highlight on the cheek. Highlight on the lower eyelid. Now you see cheek and eyelid are two where the highlights are, the main highlights are. And also move that upper eyelid like that. You got a very sharp edge line and what line? Sorry, not line, light coming up here, and that's the upper eyelid. There you have it, and that's a shadow, which is the side of her eye. Then the forehead is slightly a bit lighter than that. And maybe I can come a little bit, be a little bit more forgiving with these shadows, because I'm going to be too dark here. Yes, it's less dark than that. And the darks are concentrated here, on the chin itself. Look, a vertical line from the nostril is right there, so vertical line from the nostril. So that's the shadow of her chin here. A bit darker there, and a little bit darker on the lower part of the lower lip. Here, these two connected. Darks are here, concentrated here, and now with my putty, highlight on the nose. Lower part of the nose, that's how you see more of the nose. Bring that line or that light a little bit closer to the end of the nostril, there. Upper lip, light on the lower part of the upper lip. I don't know if I can say that, the lower part of the upper lip there. Even, yes, yeah, we see a little bit of the upper lip. And also we see the lower lip too. And the chin. And then you have that line here, which, so you see that you can notice now that she's looking up. Yes. This is, if we take care of these, all these things, that obviously you can do that. And the end of the ear, which has been, look, there are two light sources. I've noticed now, not that I didn't see it, but it's basically, it's a huge, the main one, which is on the right. You see all those highlights on the right, but also at the back. You see how much so many highlights you have on the hair. Because how the hair is so dark here and the hair is very, very light there. Unless she dyed it blonde, the lower part, but it's impossible. That means that there is a reflected light coming from behind, which is basically, it's here. You have light, look here, and this is where her, the tucked hair, what would you say here? I don't know how to call it. Well, that's
Scrunched.
the bun. The bun, yeah.
Scrunched.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that looks like she's holding with one of those. And then you have the tip of the ear there, and then highlight of the hair.
This is it.
Right? And the ear inside here. It's good. Makes sense?
Very good, very good.
So annoying how it comes together.
Are you scratching around?
Yes, it is hard, I must admit. And also for me, I need to go like
Because
this.
you're not actually in the right position to do it.
It's basically, if she was standing there, I would have been there.
Yeah.
You see, I would have literally been lower, and because that's how you see
Yeah.
this part of the job. And obviously now it's just to bring the eyebrow like that and emphasize the eyebrow. There. And now it's just working and being a little bit more attentive to details. That beautiful shine on her eye is very important. That highlight in the eye. I'm talking about this one there. There, that highlight. And the highlight on the lower part of the eye. This one here. That's how it makes, that's how you see that it's being lit up from underneath. And this also, emphasis on that. Don't lose sight of this. And also I think we need to go a little bit darker, wider here on the shadow of the nose. And look, there's a horizontal line here, everyone, a horizontal line, and that softens the upper lip and it makes it, so it straightens up the upper lip. There. And a little bit of the upper lip muscle or the philtrum here. I think I need to bring that a little bit lower because I think I've gone quite high with the upper lip, so bring it lower. There's something wrong with the lips here. There. So it's just basically to make the distance from the lower lip, from that line, lower lip to the nose. It's too short on me. So that's what I brought it down, and I'm hoping now that I will get it right this time, which is basically more distance between, yes, that's the case here. And then that emphasis or that dark dot is right under the nostrils. So I'm lowering this, the lower lip here. It's a straight line, the upper lip there, and a bit light on the upper lip, light on the lower lip, chin here, and the squareness of her chin too. And keep an eye to darken a little bit that more of what I've done already. This, the jaw, sorry, the chin here. As it moves down, 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 and then soften it. It moves down and it connects with that shadow. It's much softer because you have the jawline, which is light. And let's emphasis on jawline, but not with the putty brow. But look, take your dust from your hand, from your fingers, and then so it's like a secondary. It's like a secondary putty rub that is your finger. So you light it up, and then look, do that. You see what I mean? That emphasizes the jaw, but not with the putty. It's safer with your fingers. And also, if you squint your eyes, you will see it's much lighter here. So let's do that again. And you see what I'm saying? Much lighter. It works really well there. And of course, I've darkened that a lot, so you make it much less darker. And let's sort out that here. Neck, collarbone, there, and that. And here you have that, this, that, and the other. This bone, that bone, and the other. And then a little bit darker here, which is like, look, like a tube, and then you have the base. A tube, let's call it the tube, which is the neck, and you have the base is here. There. Okay, I think I'll leave it at that because the basis is there. Now it needs more details, and if I stay for another 10-15 minutes, that will not be good. So for you. So have a go, and I go for your coffees.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I know. Go for it. Go for it. It's okay. It's not that. Okay, let's get back on our portrait here. So let's get a little bit more of the charcoal with a brush, charcoal dust with the brush, and then get this soft hair, which is between the neck and the skin tone of the neck and the hair itself. You have those dark charcoal area here, charcoal area there, charcoal here, well, that dark area here. Softly getting that line, although it's a bit darker than that. What I'm looking at is basically checking from the end of the eye right there on the neck here, which is there, so that line should come round here. And then that moves to the jaw, darker, this area is quite dark, chin, upper lip, lower lip darker, a bit more charcoal, lower the lower lip, and a little bit darker tone around the face. So instead of working with lines, you darken the background and you don't need to do lines around the face. That is soft. So again, you create a dark tone at the background without needing to use any lines. Charcoal dust again, and actually the forehead is darker than the paper, so there you are. Give it a darker tone to the forehead. Hair is soft, fluffy, and so it can be moved. There. That's the tip, or the tip, highest point. And what I need to look at is basically where's the middle of the whole structure from the top of the hair to the chin. So that distance here. In the middle seems to be somewhere here, let's check. So, tip of my finger to the brush, here, and then move it up. It's a bit further up, so there is the middle. So under the eye is the middle. Let's see, does that correspond on our drawing? Oh, pretty much. Okay. So you have soft hair coming through that dark hair here. And charcoal dust again. And dark here. I think I need to increase the size of her nose a little bit more. On my drawing, I mean. She's fine, she's got a nice nose. I need to adjust that. It's a bit of a longer nose here. Flesh down here. Collarbone. Neck is there. Collarbone here, too. And that dark area here. Which I think I've gone a little bit darker than I needed it to be. Getting back to my charcoal dust and emphasis on that very, very soft line, which is right under the nostril. So somewhere here. Move the chin forward. And also increase the size of the nose a bit more. There. Without doing the line. A little bit of a darker tone. See, by softening the edges here, that makes the head move backwards. Soften all the edges here, and then the eye concentrates on here, down here. Now, get rid of most of the dust further away because I don't want to get that dust on my lungs. Although it's not very dangerous, it's not dangerous at all actually, but to want the dust, and then you have a bit of a darker tone on the chin here. That makes the chin move forward. And lighter here. Now, what I'm thinking of doing would be, see, so instead of using my putty wrap, which is very intense, I'm cleaning the brush through the putty and clear all those areas here. Move the hair back. I can use a little bit of putty. I think here I need to use the putty here. There, to emphasize the ear. Now, get the putty, get the brush a bit lighter, and then use it in between the eye here, that area. You can see some flesh tone, which I don't see it on mine. So bring it back, bring back the flesh tone, bring back that line of the ear there. Flesh tone in between here. And make it a bit less pointy, that chin. Although it is, I must admit, it is here. It's there, so I'll clear that up from the dust that I added from my square start of the head. So the whole thing moves forward, a little bit forward. I mean the features. So forward with the chin. highlight there. A sparkle in the eye. Lighter tone here, which basically that area. Now I can darken the background, and also I don't need to do a line again, so everything is soft. Softly bring the hair further up. Clean the brush by the putty rubber. Add flesh tone down here, flesh tone there. Soften everything. Now some hairline. I mean some highlights of the hair. Few sparks of light here. Bit light on the forehead. Don't want to go too far. No, I don't want to go too bright because again, I don't want the eye of the viewer to be concentrated up here. And you have a hairline. Emphasis on that little soft edge, and then you have some peak of the hair up there. Dark, transparent darks, could go a little bit, and then some little bit of highlights here on hair, just to break that area. I have to break because it's a bit solid. Actually, it's not that solid, but just to break it down a little bit more. So a bit darker here. And what I've neglected is that, you see that flesh tone all around there, which is right up there. So bring back the hairline. Although it's not that sharp, I've gone too sharp there with the brush. Enters that area, and then forehead, eyebrow, and hairline. And that pushes the ear and makes it a little bit that way. The ear, it's more of, it's got that movement of that way, so it's an angle of the ear, it's an axis which connects this there. So that line, I need to get that line and replicate it and make it, and get it right. Make the ear more rounded, because it's very triangular here. More rounded, less of that point. I don't need that point there. Soften it, lose it, and then very, very dark. Those sharp, dark roots of the hair here. Okay, some dark, intense charcoal dust. Okay. I'm exaggerating just to it gives her a little bit more of energy by doing the hair there. Maybe a bit too much, isn't it? I think it's too much. Okay, bring it back, bring it back. Let's contain the whole thing, not to spread it that way. Charcoal dust, charcoal dust. Okay. And then a little bit darker here. That area is very, very dark. Forehead here. Again, not too dark. There, gives lots of movement like that. Okay, now the nose is intensely dark. Shadow, I like those dark shadows. Right up at the tear duct. Bring the eye a little bit further to the left. Okay. The eye further to the left. Then the pupil. She's looking up, 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 up. So the pupil is there. And some beautiful eyelashes, if you like. The end of the nose, nostril here. And I think I need some, get rid of that dust. Clean my brush on my putty rubber. And add this filter. Lighter, lighter, lighter. And the upper lip lighter. And lighten up the upper lip here. Clean the brush here on the light paper, and then bring that highlight with my brush right there. And clean the brush again. Take some highlight. There. Clean the brush again. And bring some highlight up here. Clean it again. There. Tip of the nose there. Softly, softly there. Clean the brush again. And then highlight right up here. Eyebrow. Okay. Now, darks. Bring some darks right under the eye. It's not making any impact, the brush. That means that I need to sharpen the charcoal. So instead of sharpening and losing that dust to waste, so I sharpen it here on my paper. By the way, I was asked if I use, what kind of paper I use. Actually, it's not always Canson. One of the viewers wanted to know what paper that is. It's not always Canson. To be honest, that's drawing paper. It's I've run out of Canson a long time ago now. So possibly that drawing, I don't normally look to the papers now. It's just any paper will do. I used to work with Canson a lot, but it's that's a good drawing paper, 190 grams, but it's not Canson anymore. Apparently, I started using a long time ago the paper from the IKEA paper is very good. It's on the roll in IKEA. It's really good paper for drawing. It's better than some good brands. So that is not Canson anymore. I might even have left Canson, but I don't even know if they just cut on that size, and it's stored in the, with lots of other papers. So I lost the count where the canson is and what other brands are. You just learn to deal with the paper you've given, and that's it. As I work on the drawing of my students, and they have totally different papers, different brands, everyone, which means basically you have to get used to what they're using, and then work on their paper, W.H. Smith, Derwent, all brands basically. You have to deal with all of them. So you just learn how to actually work with different brands, different textures. Doesn't really matter. And then here you have a dark tone. So here, that dark is right under the ear. That's a collarbone. And softer here. And collarbone on that side too. That is intense, that dark there, which is right up there, and that is right here. Bit less long the neck. And here that beautiful island which stands alone here, and we know it right under. That, and then obviously you just soften it. You have to, because otherwise it gets too dark. Okay, now I think I've got the neck shorter. Doesn't matter. I did longer earlier on, it's shorter now. I think it's okay. And it will look longer if I narrow here, if I narrow it here. So here, narrow it on that side, bring the background a little bit further to the left. Get that light here. Get that light under there, a little bit more intense, and lose that line. That's a bit too sharp on me. Not sharp, but it's visible. Make it less visible. Not invisible, but less visible. And a thinner neck here. That's just spreading the putty rubber, like a shark's fin. See the profile? And then move it down here. Bone structure. The bone structure here, down here. And then you have right here, right under here, you have that shoulder right down here, right down. So there you have it, a very, very intense, spherical move, yes. And obviously with some darks here, that will help. But the brush is not actually making those darks as intense as I would like them to be. That means I have to come with my charcoal. But do I need to come with that? It's a choice, because it's a portrait drawing. Get some dust out. There we are. There. And take some dust from my brush and get that brush lighter here. Lighter there. Okay. Soft tones in between the eye and the nose there. Clean the brush with my putty. Now, not much choice but to use the putty. So highlight on the lower eyelid. There. That tip of the lower lid goes right under the nose, so it's right there. So I need to extend that. There, right there. More intense darks, they do help. Get the nose again, a bit further out. A bit less pointy. I've gone too sharp there, so a bit less pointy, more rounded. Forehead, more inwards the forehead, and then bring the hair further up. So that's a bit more like her now. See how basically you place your finger, little finger here, like this, and I have a distance from, a little bit of a distance, like about 3-4 centimeters from the surface, and I can now judge where my hand works like a compass, works almost, it's like, it's about 300 degrees, not 360, but 300 degrees, and I'm going that all around here, or wherever I need to touch quickly, and adjust your hand wherever you go in to the lights. And also by having that distance, you also make sure how much pressure you put on the putty rubber and on the charcoal as well. Feel true? A little bit more, bend it that way. Upper lip, thicker upper lip. Be a little bit more forgiving with those darks, a bit less dark. Gonna be too harsh with these darks. And feather out the chin. Okay, putty rubber is helping here a lot. And that shadow is actually barely touching the surface. Barely touching the surface. It creates a very smooth transition from very, very dark to very, very light. And here I think I need to come a bit less dark. Although I can always come back and darken it if needed. But yeah, I think a bit more of a transparent shadow there. Okay, and a bit more dust. Don't want to brighten it too much, but there is a light there, light area there. But I don't want to brighten it too much. Eyelid of the other eye. And nostril a bit wider. Just sharpen the charcoal here. That beautiful dark hair is right at the eye level. Some darks coming through, escaping. So now I need to connect them because they look like three different patches, unrelated. Okay, adjusting a little bit the camera here. Okay, all right, okay. And I think that is better there. Lighter darks. Some dark here, dark. Cheek. Darker, which is the end of the eye here. Upper eyelid. Lower eyelid. Darker tone here on the lower jaw, chin, sorry, which is right under the nostril, which is there. that will give you a darker tone all around it. And then merge this with a brush. We brighten it up a lot. Yeah, that's too bright now. So let's go back and darken all this area. The eyebrow here. Clean the brush. That dark actually is quite nice because it can be of a, like, concentrates a look onto something. Dark. Need to be careful because I took a lot of dark out. Okay. It's just a matter of adjusting the darks, basically. I'm struggling here to adjust the darks, but because you put them on and the brush takes 70% out. When you need to put them or let them be there. Here, I can actually instead of darkening the background and keep it light, the background there. And that adjusts the chin. Right. And it protrudes the chin out, makes it, elongates the chin further out. And maybe a little bit less light, less bright here. And then deliberately merge this, the background, just merge like this. I can give it a very, very, very slight touch, light, very extreme light touch. Gain the light on the eye and emphasis on the upper eyelid. Okay, the eyebrow is good and arched. Some more intense darks here, which obviously is the hair. Darker tone. Don't only use the brush because it's very, very precise. You need the finger to point out where exactly. Kind of an arched area. All right, okay. And a soft, not that light is huge here. Soft and bring it down. Bring down that less light, less. The eye concentrates here. Okay. And as I said, the eye concentrates more at the front. Yeah. Again, a bit lighter here, not much, just touch lighter there. Although it's still too light, but I like it. And yellow. Yellow lighter. Giving her a bigger ear. Some soft hair. Again, get the dust out of the brush. Alright, okay. Leave it for now, have a little break, have a coffee and come back.